Hello. 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 It took me a while to get started. Can you all hear me?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
good, good. I see Elizabeth and Juta, Aha, Aja, Ashley, Daisy. We'll give it a few minutes for us to join. How is everyone?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. More joining. And I see 10 participants. I think I had said that I am really new to Zoom. Last Zoom meeting, Lori Dotson helped me to begin to host this. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them. I have an agenda that I've kind of put together. I'll just kind of show it here on my, that's showing it backwards. Looks like it. I wanted to start with check-ins. And saying what is going well, questions about class assignments, readings, and the additions to today's agenda. And then I'm actually going to walk through my environment here at Children's Alley. Some people are interested in that, to show what my environment looks like actually. And then I have a number of what I call children's song storybooks, examples of those. And then I'm also going to show you instruments that I use. I have several of these to show you: ukulele, etc., auto harp, harp, dulcimer, piano, and any other examples that you have. And I have a suitcase full of children's instruments that I use with the children to show you. And then I also want us to talk about the Teach Us a Song or music activity. But I do like to start with check-ins, and anyone that has anything they'd like to share or talk about as a check-in, how things are going, anything you're learning from the class or the readings. If anyone would like to start with the sharing, I think that's a good place to start. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you're ready to talk. Am I muting people?
Hello, I'm Daisy.
Okay.
I'm enjoying. Should I start with what I'm learning?
Yeah, anything you'd like to share?
Right now, I'm going through some life changes in my family. So class is kind of distracting me with learning more about music and movement and the different instruments that children can play. It can even be objects, even pans or pods, and they can make music even like in a dramatic area or the music and movement area.
Yes. Are you working actively with children?
Yes, I'm actually here at work, but we had to close down because of plumbing issues. So now we have to do paperwork right now. So I'm able to join the meeting.
Okay, it's very nice to have you. Thank you, Daisy. Others checking in?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I personally really like seeing all the different activity examples throughout the textbook and stuff. I think it provides a lot of useful information in terms of being able to apply that to any kind of work environment and be able to incorporate things easier in terms of activities.
Mm-hmm. Are you at work right now too?
Yeah, I'm at work. Yeah, I work with a variety of children on a one-on-one basis, and so I've been able to use some of them that are more individually focused, but not so many of the group ones.
Uh-huh. Yes. I am at work, but I only operate my preschool from Monday through Thursday. And that's why I'll be able to show you. And then that's why it's so quiet in here. This is a part of my classroom. It's a little cottage. Any other introductions or check-ins, please? Okay.
I agree with Ashley. I really love your book. I felt lost, not knowing how to develop a proper or solid ed plan. That's one good thing. I've been learning and how to schedule, like with the timing. That's also good and new information for me, as well as what type of movements, or not movement, but what objects can I incorporate with the movement, like the scarves. I knew that, but I was not sure like what are the safety measures, how to keep them clean and all that. Like that's all information I've been learning a lot and I really enjoy.
Okay, very good. And hopefully others can kind of help us with that kind of cleaning of scarves, ideas like that. Thank you. Others? Yes.
Yeah, I enjoy the book. I enjoy the sample activities a lot. And the only problem I have, I introducing too much structure. I like to have a fairly unstructured day with my children, and because I'm a big believer in a lot of uninterrupted play, so I like to reserve. My day is only 2.5 hours long, so I like to have at least an hour, a good hour, an hour and a half for just playtime and some activities they can choose. So I like to just sprinkle in music where I can and singing and music activities, but I don't like to set aside, okay, here I want to do. So there's a lot of structured activities suggested. And yes, I like to have maybe a circle time and say, okay, we'll do music today, and I bring out instruments, or we sing songs, or I play music or something like that. But everything is also, well, flexible, very flexible, depending on the mood of the children. And it might just be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes here. So not super structured. And I feel like a lot of suggestions are maybe sometimes a little bit more for older children, or a little bit too structured for my taste. And we're mostly outdoors anyways. So some of the things have to be adjusted to the environment I am in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm very much enjoying the class, and I really enjoy the articles, the 2 articles I've read so far, and
Oh, good.
how
Yeah,
important singing is. It's yeah.
I really like that first article, and and I add those to supplement what Ray Pica's book is about, because I agree that she is really rather structured. From a developmental perspective, her chapters go 1, 2, 3, and they follow the child development aspects of music, movement, especially, and physical development. That's really the focus. Her first book, this is her 5th edition. Her first book was just movement with young children, and she is a movement specialist. And some of the movement specialists I've known are just very much, I'm admitting some new people, very much structured. Again, Jutta, is that how I say your name?
Mhm.
It says that you're with the mountain school. Is that in the Santa Clara area or?
Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, okay, on Old San Jose Road.
Yeah, it's on Black Road of 17 in Los Gatos Mountains. Yeah,
Okay. My children went to mountain school out of Soquel.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we hike a lot. We are outdoors. We're in the forest a lot. So I've never felt like I had to do a lot of movement exploration with the children, because I've always felt like they do it naturally. Our school is on very uneven terrain. I mean, they have to navigate, and that already introduces so much movement exploration in itself. And when we hike, we go down and up and down hills. They climb a lot. They climb on trees, and
Mhm.
so I've never felt the need to do a lot of extra, because they do a lot of these things naturally.
Right. Well, I think that in a setting like that, you didn't necessarily have to make up how to move. The natural challenges are even greater than what a teacher can replicate.
I feel the teachers need more movement explorations, because they have to keep up with those kids. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have a school, a private elementary school in Santa Cruz Mountains in Aptos,
The Orchard.
the Orchard School, yes.
Yeah.
And it is an uneven campus, to say this. It's difficult to even navigate in terms of walking through, but the children actually become so well coordinated with, they do a lot of unicycle riding, and the staff really focuses on developing physical motor skills beyond the 1, 2, 3, and move to the left, move to the right, so on. So I think your input is very important to the class.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jutta.
Thank you.
Others? Yes.
Hi, Professor, and I'm my classmate. I really enjoyed reading our book, because I love to read new information about the new topic, and also I like the discussion area, because it's good opportunity for me to learn the other classmates' perspective every topic. Yeah, because I'm not working not now. It's good to learn how it's going in the school, how's the children, how they do with the music or with the movement. Yeah, it's good for me. Thank you.
Yes, and I will join in with you and say I really enjoy reading the discussion posts. They really are like an active class, which is what I hope for, which is I prefer discussions to quizzes and tests and so on, because it actually allows learning people to express their questions and answer each other, the interaction between, which is sometimes missing in live classes. Very good points, Iqbal. Thank you. Others? Don't feel like you have to, but I do like to hear from people. We have 14 participants now, so we're off to a great start. Anyone else?
screen. Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me, Professor Marshall, good morning and good morning class. My name is Sonia. I experienced a little bit of difficulty to get in, so I had to go to Zoom, www.zoom.com, copy your link to join the meeting, then copying the ID, and then copying the password. But then I saw you, and then suddenly something else came to my screen. You know, like I can tell you, it says introducing Zoom apps, but I cannot remove that. So I can hear, because this is of course being recorded, I can hear you, but I cannot see your screen or anything. Can you help me, please?
Yeah, let me see. Like I say, I'm new here. It says share screen. See if I can.
I think Zoom is just like having technical difficulties with it because I couldn't. I mean, it was logged in, and then it said the professor or the host was gonna let me in when I was in the waiting room, and it kind of just like quit on me. So I think Zoom is being weird today.
Is there any other way I maybe I can disconnect and can enter through a link, because I keep on seeing this introducing Zoom apps. I don't want that, but I also cannot unmute myself, and the only reason I can communicate with you is because I hear you and I hear everybody, but I cannot unmute. So if I am done talking and I want to unmute myself, I would not be able to do that.
Have you tried leaving the meeting and
That's
then
what I'm asking. If
yeah,
I can leave, but can I
and
do
then
that, please?
yeah,
And you let me in?
you could leave the meeting, and then what you could do is just put on one of the tabs from Google, Zoom, then you click
Yeah, the way I
Zoom.
entered. But what I'm asking is if you can please let me enter, because I can go out now, and then Professor Marshall, would you please let me enter again? I can go
Yeah.
out now.
Yes, we can try that. I'm sorry
Thank you.
about that. Again, I am a
Okay.
novice at hosting meetings.
I'll do that. Excuse me, since I'm already on speaker, I wanted to share my experience as regards to the posting. First of all, I would like to say that I really enjoy reading the book because it's not complicated. It's very easygoing, hands-on, it's simple, but it really conveys the message in a very clear, not difficult way, which is something I enjoy. And the material allows you to put whatever they say into practice, which is definitely an asset. And another comment I would like to make is that I love the way the class is settled, in the sense of every week postings, because I think everybody, because we're all different. I mean, we're all humans, but we understand things differently. We process differently. So for us, for each of us, something is more important than other things. We have our own glasses to see things. So I think it's important that we share our perspectives, because we learn a lot from others. At least that's my view. And I enjoyed a lot reading my classmates' postings and being able to reflect, and then also, of course, make my posts. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. And you're going to try to
Yes,
sign
I'm
out.
going to go out now and come back. Thank you.
And thank you for the advice, Candy.
Bye.
Uh,
I had difficulties to enter as well, but what I did was I just put Zoom instead of putting www dot you know what, I just put Zoom, and then I just put the Zoom link just popped in, and then I just put the code and then the meeting code, and that was it. It let me in easily.
Oh, I now see you.
oh, great.
Thank you.
That's very good because I tried to start even before 10 o'clock and I was being told to myself that it wasn't a valid meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope we do get up and running. Anyone else having that kind of trouble? Are we all okay now?
I mean, I'm in.
You're okay, Candy?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else checking in? Anything you want to say about the class? We have a few comments here at the chat. Michelle says it could be the meeting settings. And other people say good morning. So again, I did mention that I have an agenda. I have it on my other computer. Are you interested in doing a walkthrough in my preschool? I'd like show of hands or yes, no. It's very interesting. So it's a small program. Then I'm going to, I hope everyone has the visuals because then I'm going to show some children's books that are about children's songs that I like very much. And then I'm also going to show some of my instruments that I have, the ukulele, the auto harp. We'll look at the piano and then some of the instruments that children use, and then talk about using props such as bells and shakers. Someone mentioned that, scarves in activities. And then we'll check in with any of the other assignments. Okay, so I'm going to be using my laptop to kind of walk through my environment. Everyone's being able to see me turn this now. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I used to call the book room because there are books and a couch that I'm sitting on. I'm going to get up from the couch and I'll just keep talking as I walk through and try to aim the laptop. What I was talking about was the book, but now I call it the music room because we've added so many things. I got this piano. Does anyone else have a piano in their classroom? I got this piano for, I think, like $25 and cost me $50 to have it tuned. It's very important to have your instruments tuned. So aside from the piano, I have the harp that I'll talk about later. I have 3 ukuleles. Well, you can see the Mahalo there, the Makala ukulele, and then there's another one that I'm going to be showing that usually hangs here. So children come in here and they usually pick up the ukuleles. So, and then when music starts playing, some of the children come up to the piano, playing the piano like children do. And that sort of thing. This is actually a small cottage. You can see it has high ceilings. And so it's a little cottage in the back of my home. So this is what would technically be considered the living room. And you can see how I have a guitar hanging here too. And I'd like you to meet Bo and Tony. See if you can see them. Yeah, the big one there is Tony. And Bo is a more shy turtle. Hello, Bo, what are you doing?
Hi.
You're hiding under the heat rock, huh?
Those are so sweet, my God.
So these are, we do not handle turtles. Children want to touch them, but as I understand, they can carry salmonella. They do not, captivated turtles being handled or being set free, so to speak, to roam, they don't really do well getting back into captivity. So they've been living here for over 30 years. We think they're probably 50 years old. You hear me talking, don't you, Tony? Yes, he or she, we're not sure. We were told they were both boys, but then we started seeing eggs laid at different times. So turtles don't sit on their eggs, and actually in this situation, they usually walk over them, and we don't, that's a rock next to Bo. But they can't really mate because they're actually, one is a box turtle and the other is a marsh turtle. So this again, another view. There's a record player and a CD player. A question? Hmm? And then it's not a large room. It's not even a large classroom, but we are licensed for 12 children. And right now we only have 5. We have the Duplos here, lots of animals to play with. You met Jeremiah last Zoom meeting, and we do a fair amount with these. These are called unit blocks, very, very important part of our math program, as well as our Brio train track, pegboard on the wall, more friends underneath here, soft places. The children like to come up and visit the turtles standing on this bench here. So looking out this direction, I guess this, which is our activity and food tables, could be called the dining room. Can you see this all right? Yes.
Yes.
And this is our art area. This table is a marble table that my mother bought in Mexico back when I was a teenager. So I've had this for 60 years or so. And we have open art with free choice of anything from tapes to scissors to glue to paper to Play-Doh to trays to watercolors. And the children pretty much do as they like with that sort of thing. Very small kitchen. Kitchen is not really open for children's activities, but we do baking every day. We have fresh fruit available for them at all times. So again, you kind of get the feel of the small cottage. It was built in about 1972. We opened up this window to the music room when we first bought the place because we wouldn't be able to supervise. It just had an arched window similar to this one in between. Then the front door is this direction. We have a bathroom. Our staff room is in our home, staff bathroom. And so, again, no children here today. This is where the cubbies are. And we call this the back room or the dress up room or the fantasy playroom. And it is equipped with all sorts of pretend equipment, including pretend food, cooking experiences, so on. A stove doesn't really work. Drawers full of several items, dolls, blankets, the crib. The crib is for dolls, but actually we find children in that crib quite often. And window here. This is another cabinet with, you never know what you're going to find in here. We have books in every part of the classroom. So that really is the indoors. So this is the front door and this is outside. It's a nice day, huh? Very nice day. We have a flagpole We raise it on birthdays, special occasions. And if you see the green gate, that's where children enter and leave. So to get a picture of the cottage, this is where they enter. We grow quite a number of different kinds of plants. We have sage here, strawberries. They find strawberries, and do they eat the strawberries? No, they bring them to Bo and Tony. Usually they're already being eaten by bugs, and Bo and Tony will eat the bugs that are eating the strawberries. So again, this is coming into the program. This is kind of what it looks like, the cottage. That plastic structure is our climbing structure. Again, we're closed today. And so the climbing structure is always on the lawn. We take it off because we keep our lawn very well irrigated so that there's beautiful soft green grass. I grew up rolling on green grass all my life, and so this is a high priority for me. We have a persimmon tree here that children kind of do some hanging from. Let's see. There probably are a few persimmons up here. The squirrels like them. This is a maple tree, and when I planted it, I made the branch. I tied it down very low so children could actually get up there, sit on the branch, and climb a tree, so to speak. Yeah, I think this is another dry pouring activity with tractors and pebbles, a planter box, a Buddha with the crystal. This is our sensory corner. All these plants are scented geraniums. Let's see, what else do we have? Rosemary, so on, those kind of plants. This is a sandbox. It's closed. It was designed for the children's playground, so it can open and close, and the lid turns into a bench so the children can sit on the bench. So then we're big Warrior fans, at least the children are. So the basketball hoop, another nice large motor and arm coordination activity. And as you can see right here, more chalkboards, they keep score. So you can tell that someone was winning right here. Yes. And balls enough for everyone to have a ball. This is some storage for more play equipment. And we also, we nurture, oh, there's a caterpillar there. We nurture monarch butterflies. See if you can see this one here. It's just having its, you see the monarch caterpillar? Someone tell me if you see the caterpillar.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it too.
They end up forming chrysalises right here on the plants. So we are very close to some of the most important monarch areas like Natural Bridges and Pacific Grove. So the butterflies need a lot of plants with nectar to come and drink off of. So that's why all of the flowers, aside from just natural beauty, we feel that aesthetics and beauty are perhaps the most important things in the child's visual world. And it's a way of loving children and respecting them. And for them to learn to respect plants rather than just pulling them all up, they can pick some sage, or I might pick this for Bo pretty soon. Plants, these are more of the plants that, the milkweed that the caterpillars, the monarch butterfly, she will lay her eggs on the plant. It's the only place they'll lay their eggs. And that's where the baby caterpillar grows and becomes a chrysalis. This is what we call a merry-go-round. Can you see this? And it's usually on the lawn for safety. And children sit on the seat and pull the blue wheel, which has the yellow section with the 4 seats. And that's their merry-go-round. We have more pretend play going on here with stoves and food and so on. And we have 2 houses because it's nice to have a neighbor. So sometimes someone moves in here. There's often a pretend picnic going on at this table. This originally was we called it a fire station, but it's become a boat. We've added 2 steering wheels, and the hollow blocks are one of our favorite building materials. Ducks are some of our good friends. And that's pretty much the extent of our yard. The house in the background is the house that my wife, Mary Jo, and I live in. And so this is the entrance into the kitchen. So there's my commute. It's about 11 feet from my one kitchen to this kitchen, and then here I am at work. So you don't have to drive to work. And we've really enjoyed this. Been operating here for 39 years. And this is our last year of operation. Was that an okay little adventure?
Wow, that was a blast. I loved it.
Good, good. Thank you.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful school.
Yeah, it's really been fun to develop. Before we found this piece of property, I was a master teacher at the Cabrillo College training program, and my wife was a head teacher at the Soquel Parent Co-op. And so we were working for large school districts, and you can't really do everything that you want to do when you're working for, boards and all that, directors up above you who have their own ideas. So I continued working at Cabrillo and also West Valley for institutions, but my wife did the first few years of this, and we've enjoyed working together for the several years. Any questions, comments?
Excuse me, I forgot the name of the wheel with 4 chairs that you have with the blue you spin. Can you repeat, please?
We call it a merry-go-round, very much like at an amusement park where the children ride on the horses and they go around and around, but the children use their arms to turn it. It's very rare. So I found it when the oldest nursery school, they used to call preschools nursery schools, in Santa Cruz was closing, and it was called well, I can't remember, but they had it for sale. I bought it for $5 and I painted it up, and we've had it several years. So I call it a merry-go-round, but I've had several people take drawings of it, and you would need a metal worker and a welding torch and to make something like that. I've seen them in circles where children sit on a tricycle type of a thing and go around and around, but anyone else ever seen that type of a thing?
Yeah, I've seen it. I actually have it at the school I'm working at.
Okay. Do they enjoy it?
Yeah, a lot of the kids once they're done playing in the playground, they'll run to the little bicycle that goes around and just pedal and go around.
Yeah. With a larger group, it's difficult to take turns with there's the 4 seats. And so we do appreciate that this has been a smaller group. Since COVID, we have not had the full enrollment of 12 children. We used to have to kind of keep almost a list of who's next and that sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of them actually have been, they take turns, so they'll tell each other, oh, can I have a turn? And so they'll like, one will hop off, they'll stop, they hop off, and then one goes back on.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can start to.
You said merry-go-round round, sorry? The name?
Recording in progress.
The name that I said is Mary Go Round.
Oh, merry-go-round, thank you.
I'm getting an echo. Maybe it's my mic. Okay, Mary as in, not the name Mary, but M-E-R-R-Y, another word for happy, and then a dash, G-O, go, and then the word round. So it goes around, and it makes everyone happy when they go around, the merry-go-round. The next part of, let's see, next part of my agenda talks about what I call children's song storybooks, and I have a whole pile of these to go through. I'm not going to read all of them, but I hope you will recognize some of the songs that authors have done. For example, this one is Five Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed. Everyone familiar with that song? And what I like about song storybooks is that maybe you're shy of singing, but at a story time, of course, the focus is on the book. So there they are, jumping on the bed, and one fell off and bumped her head. So I sing it along. Five little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped her head. The mama called the doctor and the doctor said, you know the rest.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Right. And it goes all the way, and it has a funny ending because after she finally gets them all to bed, she says, thank goodness that they are asleep because now, and she says,
I can go to bed.
now I can jump on the bed. Because we are all playful too, right? So I'm just going to go through these. I'm not going to read every one, but I did one that I got down that isn't really a song. You may not think of it as a song, but I imagine all of you have seen this book, Brown Bear, Brown Bear.
Yeah.
And it's okay to take a book like this and put it to music or to a chant or to a rhythm or to a meter. So when I read Brown Bear, I get a beat going. I usually slap my thigh, and the children do too. Brown bear, what do you see? I see and after a while they memorize the book, so they go, okay, what is it? What is it? What is it? And we'll wait, and they'll go, it's a red bird. And then we start chanting together. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck. So you see how it just suddenly it becomes a musical. And that has so much more to it than singing yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. I like to bring it to life, you know, because then, and what I find is if you have a certain way of chanting a book, the children will, and I always leave it out after we do this, children will be coming up to it and they'll be singing it together, 2 or 3 children looking at this book and going through each one. Blue horse, what do you see? Here is a book about a song. Most of these are from songs, and this is very timely right now. And I'm going to hold it up and see if you know what you think the song is that this book is about.
Take me to the ball game.
Take me out to the ball game. That's right. And unfortunately, we won't be seeing San Francisco in the playoffs much more. The song goes, take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanut. So it goes through some very nice illustrations. This is actually an historic New York Yankees against the Brooklyn Dodgers. And there's a famous character in here that I like to point out. There's the Peanuts and Cracker Jack. Some kids don't know what Cracker Jacks are. Oh. I don't care if I never get back. But one of the characters, the batter here, is an African-American or black baseball player, and that is Jackie Robinson, and he is the first baseball player that was not a white baseball player that was admitted to the major leagues. So that's a little piece of history, and I don't mind telling children that at all. I think that's important to know, that there has been some struggles that different ethnic groups have gone through as we try to achieve equality in the United States. You may have heard this story when you were a child. This is called the Bremen Town Musicians. And the Bremen Town Musicians is a group of animals, and they're being let go of by their owners. So a donkey and a dog and a cat and a rooster. And the Bremen Town, they're heading to Bremen Town to become a band and sing in the town, sort of like street music artists. And as the story goes, it ends up that they find a group of what this book calls robbers in a house, and they scare the robbers away and they just move into the house rather than going to Bremen Town. This is my favorite Valentine song, Skid-a-ma-rink. Have you ever heard this one?
Yeah.
Skid-a-ma-rink-a-dink-a-dink, skid-a-ma-rink-a-doo. I love you. And this is one of those fold-out books. I love you. So this is a polar bear and a penguin having fun on an ice cap. And it's a classic song made famous by Jimmy Durante, a famous actor. This is a classic children's song called The Farmer in the Dell. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. I-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. And this one supposes that the farmer has fallen into the dell, and it takes everyone to help pull the farmer out. He's going, help. And finally, the song goes, the farmer takes a wife, and then the wife takes a child. In this book, they all take each other's hand to try and pull the farmer out. Let me show you a picture here. They're all lined up trying to pull the farmer out of the dell. And finally, the cheese is the one standing back in the background who finally adds the last hand to the to be able to pull the farmer out. I think last Zoom we talked something about the Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia. Jerry Garcia and David Grisman put together this song, the Jenny Jenkins, What Will You Wear? And I have recorded this song. It's a sweet one. It's, oh, will you wear red, oh my dear, oh my dear? Will you wear red, Jenny Jenkins? No, I won't wear red, cause, and then it rhymes with something. I bumped my head. So I sing that more than I read the book, but I do like, I won't wear white because the color's too bright. I sometimes sing it based on the colors that children are wearing. who's wearing blue, that sort of thing. This is an old German folk tale called the Gunny called the Gunny Wolf. And the Gunny Wolf is it's not very scary. And the story was first an oral story. It was told, and this illustrator, Barbara Upton and Wilhelmina Harper, have put together the story about the Gunny Wolf. And what happens is the girl is picking flowers, and as she picks flowers, she starts singing, "Kumquat kiwa, kumquat kiwa." And the Gunny Wolf asks her to sing that song some more, and he actually falls to sleep. And she's a little bit afraid of the Gunny Wolf, so she runs away. He catches up to her, and it's a sweet little story of her and the Gunny Wolf. I didn't think of this as a song at all. It's called The Construction Crew. But one of my grandmothers who played the piano, I had this out, not my grandmother, but a child's grandmother. And she went to the piano and she said, "Sam and I have made up this this song." Let's see, I guess I'll show you an example. Yeah. "This old building is ready to fall. What do we need? A wrecking ball." So, and she's just, that's a simple way of, rather than "this old building's ready to fall, what do we need? A wrecking ball." You can bring these books to life. "Piles of earth, push them over. What do we need? A bulldozer." And rhyming is always an important part of music. I'll be sharing this one soon with the giving seasons coming up. My favorite things from Rodgers and Hammerstein. Familiar with this? Most of these have the music in the back or front. "Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things." So nice to, again, nice to have the book, because nobody needs to just listen to me sing it, and the book will remind them of what's coming next based on illustrations. Roland the Minstrel Pig is, I have several of these in my library that are about the power of music. And so Roland is a pig who plays the lute, which is like a guitar, and he runs into a fairly dangerous lion who wants to eat him, but he ends up singing his way out of trouble. Another example of singing your way out of trouble. Let's see, I'll get this one real quick. Where are you? Abioyo. Are you familiar with this book, Abioyo? Abioyo, this was written by Pete Seeger, who is a famous folk singer, and he found an old African tale about a giant who used to scare the town. And there's a little boy in the story with a ukulele, and his father has a magic wand. And he does tricks with the magic wand. But when, excuse me, when Abioyo comes to cause trouble in town, the little boy sings a song about Abioyo, causes him to dance so much that he falls down. Abioyo, Abioyo, Abioyo. The boy is singing very, very fast. Finally, Abioyo falls down. His father comes up with the magic wand and makes Abioyo disappear. So the power of the ukulele saves the whole town. You may not know this song. It's called The Marvelous Toy. It was The Marvelous Toy from England. And it's the children love to see, what is this marvelous toy? It went zing when it moved and bop when it stopped and whir when it stood still. I never knew just what it was. I guess I never will. Another Pete Singer song, The Foolish Frog, where the father is walking down with his banjo. He sees a frog jump over the creek to show off, and he makes up a song about the frog. Way down south in the Yankety Yank, the bullfrog jumped from bank to bank because there's nothing better for to do. He stubbed his toe and fell in the water. You hear him holler for a mile and a quarter. He starts singing the song at the corner store, and everyone likes the music so much they come down to the corner store. And it gets sort of silly. The children come, the mothers come, finally the cows come, and they start singing, but they don't know the words. They sing moo 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 moo. It's a fun one. I remember this from my childhood down by the station. Down by the station early in the morning, see the little puffer bellies all in a row. And it has actually, instead of just a regular train, it has a train full of baby animals on the way to the children's petting zoo down by the station. This is another American folk song that children have enjoyed. This old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my thumb with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. People remember that one? I'm always reminded of a recording that was made for the Children's AIDS Foundation of this song. And the recording was by Bob Dylan. I don't mean to make fun of his voice, but it's this old man, he played one, he played knick-knack on my thumb. Number one children's song ever in the whole wide world, Baby Beluga with Raffi. Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea, swim so wild and you swim so free. And I think it's worth noting that this song was not only written by Raffi, who is a famous Canadian recording artist, but written along with his friend. I can't remember her name, but she was a kindergarten teacher in Canada. Hooray, kindergarten teachers. Puff the Magic Dragon. Beautiful song by Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary. And Puff and Jackie Paper become friends. What Peter realized is that his song that he first wrote in Hawaii near a land called Honolulu was all about boys. So he introduces his daughter as Puff's new friend at the end, because girls were not a part of his original song. So thank you, Peter Yarrow, for that. Imagine you know Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. I think that the colors of this book are especially, colors and textures are especially nice because Mary has lovely yellow and pink going on, and the lamb is such a precious white. And she, in this song, the lamb follows her to school. Followed her to school one day, school one day. I've just got about 5 or 10 more. The lady with the alligator purse. Some people remember that from maybe camp songs. Miss Lucy had a baby, his name was Tiny Tim. She put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. La 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 la. It's a silly song. Little white duck, there was a little white duck swimming in the water. Again, very nice illustrations. The duck, the frog, the bug, the snake. Children love that one. We're singing this right now. The fox went out on a chilly night and is going to hunt for, going into town to get into the chicken coop. I have 2 or 3 of my children have chickens, and so they really see the drama of this when the fox grabs the goose and the duck and take them away to home for their food. Real quickly, going to the zoo, zoo, zoo. How about you? You can come too. Going to the zoo, zoo. And Miss Mary Mac is kind of a clapping song. Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black, with silver buttons all down her back. There we go. Raffi recorded this one. It's very popular. 5 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. Only 4 little ducks came back. So it's a song about subtraction. The seals on the bus. This is a kind of funny, instead of the wheels on the bus, it's the seals on the bus go erp, erp, erp. So they try to rhyme the original wheels on the bus. So the seals get on the bus. The vipers get on the bus. It's quite involved. Over the river and through the wood is actually about Thanksgiving. Over the river and through the wood to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. So kind of olden days storybook about traveling by sleigh. Hush Little Baby, and this is a different Hush Little Baby than the one. Hush little baby, don't say a word. Mama's going to buy you a mockingbird. In the introduction, Sylvia Long, who is a wonderful artist and author, she says, as much as I loved being an artist and a singer, one of the songs that's bothered me is the original version of Hush Little Baby, where a mama offers her baby comfort by promising to buy all sorts of things. Instead, she changes it to the mother showing. Mama's gonna show you a hummingbird, a shooting star, so show instead of buy. And the last one I really enjoy, it's always on my piano. It's called My First Songs. And I can just probably turn to a page and you would know what that song is. This one. Row, row, row your boat, right? Let's try another one. Maybe not that one. Ring around the rosy. Children know those. So I learned to make these little dice boxes from a student in this class several years ago. And I took a scan of each one of these songs and I put it in the box. So this is the Old MacDonald Had a Farm, Row, row, row your boat, Itsy Bitsy Spider. And in my circle time, I pass this around and children have a turn at throwing the dice. And so then they throw it and it landed on. So then we all start singing, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. and Sarah rolls it. Oh, it's that old MacDonald again. And we sing it again. We don't say, oh, let's try another one. When they see the bus, they know that's the wheels on the bus. Again, ring around the rosy. There's a little star here, so twinkle little star. I enjoyed playing this game quite a bit. And so then I went ahead and made another one. And this is from Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So we'll be singing Old MacDonald. And then we roll, on that farm, he had a pig. On that farm, he had a horse. On that farm, he had a hen or chicken. So the children roll it, and then we have a new verse. And again, we pass that around the circle, and that's really been enjoyable. So when I played with those so much, I started, and these are made out of Kleenex boxes. That's all, a Kleenex box. And I decided to do a little pre-reading with this. So we roll, that says clap. I know it looks backwards. Clap, so when someone rolls it, claps, someone else rolls it, everyone twirls, everyone hops. And then I made 2 free sides. So it's free for Kevin to make up something like a spin or something like that. So that's kind of what I've done with the song storybooks. Anyone else have song storybooks they use, or any comments or questions?
I do use, there's this book called the Polar Bear, What Do You See?
Oh, yes.
It's the same series of the brown bear, I guess.
Yes, yes.
And then, yeah, they love it. And then there's also a book for, it's What Do You Hear? I think it's Panda Bear, What Do You Hear?
Yes.
And we do Polar Bear, what do you see? And the kids love the rhythm and the tune, and it always helps to calm them down and get them singing. So I use those books during transition time when we're waiting or we're sitting, and it works wonders, and they love it. In fact, I picked up the tune from the kids because I'm new to teaching at preschool. And then the kids taught me the tune, and then it's become a thing we do. We sing together in class, and it's a very nice experience.
Yes, I have those too, the polar bear. And polar bear is about animals in danger of extinction. And yeah, they all have a theme to them by Eric Carle. Right. Other thoughts about the song storybooks? Okay, I'm going to move to, I think the next thing I wanted to show you was some adult instruments that I use. Let me move back into the music room. First, I'm gonna turn my heater off. I don't need this. And I think I've talked about the ukulele quite a bit. Anyone else play ukulele? I have one right here. A lot of times when I first introduce the ukulele, I ask the children to help me count the strings, but a lot of times I won't show the strings, and I'll have them use their ears to count. So much of our counting is tactile, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not really that easy. But if everyone listens very carefully, here we go. How many strings are on the ukulele? Oops, I'm sorry. Let me start again. How many did you hear?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
And we'll stay with that a little while with children, because sound discrimination is really a beginning of singing, of music, of playing an instrument. So the next thing I might ask is, are these all the same sounds? And hopefully I'll get a no from 4-year-olds and up. And if they've had some sound discrimination, and sometimes this is not even easy for adults. So if I called it string number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, could any of you pick out which is the lowest sound? I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The first one?
1.
The lowest sound.
2.
2. La, 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 la. And sometimes I use my voice to kind of tell me, because I can feel the height of a note more than I can hear it. The highest note, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. The 4th string is the highest. And I don't know if you've heard this little song, 4-word song that we use with ukulele, but it's My Dog Has Fleas. So, my dog has fleas. My dog has fleas. And as I said, my 3 ukuleles are hanging in my classroom, and I will have someone, Hudson or someone, come up to the pink ukulele, and they'll go, yeah, this one's in tune. And they can actually tell that the ukuleles are in tune. They'll come to the next one. They're in tune. And so I have the first thing that a child wants to do when they get an instrument is they want to turn the tuning pegs. Well, then that just changes the whole deal. So we try to keep them in tune. I tune them every morning. I use either the piano, or actually to tune an instrument, you can use your telephone. They have excellent tuning apps. You can just even look for a ukulele tuning app, and they have them. Let me see, I'm gonna hang this one over here. And this one over here. And I have a child, I mentioned his name, Hudson, who, oh, that's not the right place. And he will take that pink ukulele, move it back to where I don't care where it is really, but where he thinks it belongs. So 3 ukuleles, I think, are better than 1. And we do get a whole band going on. Anything else about the ukulele? Oh, how do you play the ukulele? Yeah. A lot of people like to learn I think it's the best stringed instrument to begin to learn. These are called frets here. And if you take the bottom string and you put your finger on the 3rd fret and you strum it, you get what is called a C chord. And you've heard about C major or middle C. When you actually start an Apple computer, you get the sound vroom, and that's actually the sound of a C chord. So if you learn the C and then you learn the G, you can play probably almost any children's song. Who is next to you? The itsy bitsy spider crawled up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. All I have is 2 chords, almost over 50% of children's songs only have 2 chords. So once you learn these, what other songs? I'll be thinking of some. The guitar is not as easy. It's a 6-string, and so it can be very complicated to get together a 4-finger thing. So a lot of people, I want to learn the guitar. I would learn the ukulele first. The first guitar chord you can learn is that same 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. Itsy bitsy spider crawled up the water spout. That's the same chord as I was singing the other day with Jeremiah was a bullfrog who was a good friend of mine. So the guitar takes a lot more practice. I would recommend a small guitar like this for your beginning. These are strings that are nylon or gut strings, rather than a steel string guitar. Probably a lot of, and electric guitars are steel strings. A steel string hurts your fingers. It really does. And it takes so long to, I took my first lessons when I was 9 years old, and I wanted to play the guitar so badly, but I was given a steel string guitar, and it hurt me so much. And then I was traveling in Mexico. I saw a small nylon string guitar. I said, Dad, I want that. And it was only $20. And that's when my guitar playing took off. So guitar, learn the ukulele first, okay?
Mr. Marshall, do you think, sorry to interrupt, do you think that the ukulele in general is like the most easiest instrument to learn how to play? Or do you know, like, if there's more instruments that are considered a little bit more easy to play?
Well, for me, the ukulele was the easiest, and I had already known how to play the guitar. So that came very easy. And I became a self-taught. I never took a lesson on the ukulele because I already had that behind me. Some people feel the piano can be easy, and I'm going to show you some on the piano in a minute. Piano can be very difficult too. And the problem is that so many music teachers want you to know some of the difficult parts before you learn the easy parts. The scales. And they have you playing all the black keys, the sharps and flats. So, and other musical instruments, wind-blown instruments are difficult because it has to do with your mouth and that sort of thing, and your fingering. Stringed instruments like the violin is, in my mind, very, very difficult. I mean, it goes like this. And along with that is, but once you learn the violin, you can play the cello, the viola, any of those beautiful instruments. And I do think they're so beautiful sounding. But for having an instrument that you can accompany yourself, I would recommend the ukulele. I have another instrument that really is rather easy to play. And again, I think I'll show it to you right now. Showed you the harp back there, but has anyone ever heard of an auto harp? This instrument.
No, I see first time.
Yeah, huh?
No, I see first time.
First time you've seen it. So
Yeah.
you can see that it's kind of shaped like a harp, and it looks like it would be fairly difficult to play. And if I played all of the strings at once, it's the same as running your fingers across a piano keyboard. There's nothing going on there. The idea of the auto harp is it has these buttons, and what the buttons do, it has, I'll see if I can get you close enough. there are letters on the buttons, and I mentioned the C chord. And so if you push down, it takes a while to get used to it, the button that says C major, and they have the G next to it. I told you that most children's songs are C and G. It's awkward to hold, it's heavy, but once you do get going with it, you have to, what happens is that the bar the button you push drops down and blocks out all of the strings that don't belong in the C chord or B chord or A chord from ringing. And so you get an automatic or auto harp invented by a fellow named Oscar Schmidt. And so here I go with a C. And if I push it down good enough and I itsy bitsy spider, and then I switch to the G, crawled up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Don't I make it look easy? Yeah, I'm playing a beautiful full. Out came the sun and dried up. And you don't have to play all the strong strings. The itsy bitsy spider crawled up the water spout. So the auto harp can be easy as a push button instrument. I've said this before, you go back in their storeroom at the school you're working at, and way up high and way full of a bunch of dust, you might find an auto harp, because a lot of teachers, it's been recommended, actually used to be recommended that teachers, and actually I had a woman, a friend of mine, a teacher who was trained in education in Switzerland, and she had to show proficiency with the auto harp, the piano, and the guitar to get her bachelor's degree in teaching children. So the auto harp is fairly universal, but so again, look around, you might find one. You'll sometimes see what looks like an auto harp because it has a lot of strings, but it doesn't have the buttons. Now that could be an auto harp where this broke off, but quite often it's what they call a zither, which is a German instrument that's actually a melody instrument. So most of what I'm talking about are chording instruments. Here's another example of a chording instrument. Does anyone know what this is? Perhaps one of the most beautiful sounding instruments. Usually it has a great big round belly on it. I'll call it a belly, and it's called a mandolin. And the mandolin is a double string. I see a friend and they are dancing all around. I see a friend and they are dancing all around. And if you listen to some of the recordings that I've made, the mandolin is in the background on several. My friend Jack and another friend of mine, Joe Weed, play mandolin. Mandolin and violin are tuned the same way. These are double strings. If someone knows the violin, they can probably play the mandolin. And if you know a violin player and you want to give them a nice present, find a beautiful mandolin, but they are expensive. This is steel string. Each string is double, so it's exactly the same. And it's not My Dog Has Fleas, it's a different kind of tuning. So the mandolin is another one. What I had been wanting for years, and I think might be one of the easiest instruments to play, is in this case, play a little bit of a guessing game. What is that? Anyone have any idea? I'll take any guesses. Don't be shy. No, you don't know. Right? Looking at our
No
time.
guesses.
Hmm?
No guesses from me.
No guesses. Okay.
Violin.
Violin, not exactly. It's an Appalachian instrument. I think it's really beautiful. I haven't played it in a while. I got this out of my closet. Oh, I love this instrument. The strap out. Here it is. Do you think it's beautiful? Yes. This is called a dulcimer, Dulcimer. And it's what we call an open tuning instrument. It's open to the sound of D. So all of the strings sound about the same. All of those are a D sound. But when you start going up this fretboard, it has this real rich feeling to it, doesn't it? And it is, so this is more of a melody instrument. So I was picking out the melody of Twinkle Little Star. Do it one more time for you. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And it's easy to pick up, even if you just play around. You're going to enjoy the sound that you get out of the dulcimer. So it's a very uncommon instrument, usually made of beautiful, beautiful wood. I'd been looking for one for quite a long time. This one has an electric pickup, so if I'm playing a concert, I can plug it in. 4 strings. That's the dulcimer. The harp, I can't tell you very much about. It's back there. The children love it. They just come up and strike it anytime they want. It is very difficult to tune. Those strings are actually the same strings as are on the piano. So if you know your way around a piano, you might be able to play a harp. Are there any piano players out there? I was afraid of the piano for a long, long time until I got a chance to just kind of mess around with one myself. I'm going to come over and get close to it and see if I can get a shot of the keyboard. Yeah, there we are. There are white keys and black keys. Anyone know how many keys there are? 88. So you might hear someone say, play those old 88s, meaning play the piano. Looking closely at the pattern, looking at the black ones, you'll see 2 blacks and 3 blacks. So these are actually octaves. They're the same sound. This one here is a middle C. And if we go up to the next C, it's just an octave. So actually there aren't, even though there are 88 notes, there aren't that many different sounds. I have marked middle C for my children. and the A and B up here, because some of the kids, they go, I want to play a song. And so I have the C and the A and the B, and I've showed them without too much instruction. C, C, A, B, B, A, then climb down. Da, 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 da. But if you just want to come up to a piano, well, just look for middle C, play 2 Cs. And I always tell children, don't play 2 notes together because they're not tonic. I always tell children to spread your fingers and try and play 2 notes apart. And you can do even 4 notes or 3 notes. Sometimes, da, 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 but it won't be long till I'm gonna find somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. So once you start playing around with the every other key, you can pick up some good ones. I showed my granddaughter how to play this boogie woogie, where you go from the one this second black one down. So we get going. And you got a boogie woogie sound going. So don't be afraid of the piano. Let it, mess around with it. The first song I learned on the piano was with the Black Keys. Okay. Fun things like that. Anything else about piano? Any other piano player people? Anything about instruments that you use with children? I do have this book, that Alternative Tunings Guide for the Guitar. You have ever heard Joni Mitchell play the guitar? She's very good at it. She doesn't tune her guitar the way most people do. She has what are called open tuning, so that she'll change the tuning to a totally different, like she calls them, drop down D tuning, open G tuning. And I play with those sometimes. So a book is going to help you. Here's a book that I enjoy about the ukulele. So just getting a ukulele is one thing, but you generally need help. Of course, now we can go online and get that sort of help quite a bit. We're getting close to running out of time. The one or two of the things I also wanted to show you is, I'll come over here. Some of the children's instruments. What do you think I got in here? Bells. And we have enough for everyone to have one or two bells. You've seen these. You probably have these in your classroom, in your storeroom. And we just make up songs with this. So everyone has some bells. And then I made up this song. I ring and ring my bells. I ring and ring my bells. I ring and ring and ring and ring. I ring and ring my bells. Then I ring my bells up high. I ring my bells down low. And then the children can start singing, I ring my bell on my knee. And they can take turns leading the group. So they are, I ring my bell on my elbow. I ring my bell on my elbow. I ring and ring and ring and ring. I ring my bell on my elbow. Of course, jingle bells, any number of those kinds of bell songs. The other kinds of kits that I have that are for large groups for music or movement are, this is more movement related. And probably next, November Zoom, we will do more with movement, but I have ribbons with a little wristband. So someone talked about scarves. I used to sing a song, Let's Do the Scarf Dance. Let's do the scarf dance. You do it in a circle. And when it's your chance, you jump into the circle. So they can choose their colors. We have purple, yellow. I have enough for my small group. You find these at, like, not to commercialize, but Lakeshore, Community Playthings, looking them up on the internet. I'm sure you can find some of these on Amazon. And again, you don't have to be instructional like we were saying early on. You can just get them out and let's see what the children do with them. It might be, how many scarves can I fit on my wrist? You know, I want all the yellow ones, that sort of thing. Another scarf set that I have has scarves and bells with a handle, and they do like these also. You can do the same bell song if you want, or they can do songs that can be along with the song like I See You Jumping. I see you jumping, jumping, jumping. The children are making some music with it. My ribbon starting to wiggle, my ribbon starting to wiggle. So those are kits that I use. Anyone have that kind of thing that they use? And again, scarves are so easy. You can find them at Goodwill, in your grandmother's hope chest, any place like that. I think that's a good example.
Excuse me, Professor Marshall, where would be a good place to get a ukulele for me who has never played anything?
To get
A ukulele for
a
me
ukulele?
to learn it.
I go to guitar stores, and I'm glad you brought that up. In the Santa Clara Valley, there is the Guitar Showcase, and they will help you quite a bit. We have some very good stores here in Santa Cruz too. And you would ask the salesperson, because you don't want to spend a lot of money, but I would spend $35 on a ukulele before I would spend 10, unless it was a good used one. And ask them, say, I'm wanting to learn the ukulele that I was playing, which wasn't even a ukulele shape. It was round like that. It's called a pineapple ukulele, and I paid $50 for that. And it's my favorite ukulele. $50 is not a lot for having an instrument your whole life. And I mentioned, I don't know, I know there's other guitar stores, but if you go to someplace like Guitar Showcase or something, go on in and go into the middle and go to the display case. And you might ask if they have auto harps too, but look in the display case and you're going to see some of these little clicking instruments, those egg shakers, really inexpensive children's music and like the egg shaker. It's a little black egg. I don't know if you've ever seen them. No, let me see if I can pull one out just a second. I didn't get a chance to show all of these, but next time I'll show, oh, here. This is where I bought these. I call them eggs, because they are in the shape of eggs. Oop. Here are 2 eggs so children can hold an egg in each hand and shake and shake my egg. Cha cha cha. And they also make, I like these maracas. Plastic is not my favorite instrument, but with the wooden maraca, I can't tell you how many times, because children have a tendency to smash these together, and these don't break, whereas the wooden maracas have little tiny beads inside of them, and the children naturally hit them together, and they break all over the place. They are a beautiful Latin American instrument, but I do like these commercial ones better, and you might find some shakers like this in a music store of any kind. And again, some of the online stores just do something like children's shakers, and you would find something like this online, maybe Amazon or any place like that. Those are good choices.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's 11:50. I don't like to go overtime, and this is a long time for sitting in a class. Usually we would take a break, so I'm going to close out this session. Just if you have any other questions, I'm going to sit down. This is my last year of teaching children, and I know some of the kids said, yeah, Jim does a lot of sitting on the couch. Well, I've got some back issues and that sort of thing. These things happen. I wanted to be sure that you have visited our Canvas site, because only yesterday I posted the Teach Us a Song and Teach Us a Movement activity. And I just had examples. So under Teach Us a Song, I had on YouTube, I had a video of myself teaching you the song, Oh Little Apple, a song that I wrote. And so if you're interested to find, it is on our Canvas now, but if you went on YouTube and you looked up Oh Little Apple, it would bring you there too. And I also posted under the movement activity a short little clip of an activity that I call Change Directions. And I'm with a remote control, I'm running a video, not a video, an audio that where the sound goes do 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 do, and then the piano goes bring, and that's when the children change directions. It's one of my favorite movement activities because it's not really a right or wrong. We can move backwards or forwards. We can do it in a circle or not, but watch those as examples of Teach Us a Song or Teach Us a Movement. And what I hope for in that assignment, and they're worth 50 points each, go ahead and open up. It's in a discussion format, but it's sharing. Open up one of those reply buttons and just say, here's my favorite song. And it can be one like This Old Man or the Itsy Bitsy Spider. And here's how I use this song, and put the words down for us if you can. And that's my hopes for that. I mentioned YouTube because I do have more than just a few songs, maybe 5 or 6 on YouTube, and I decided to have them all start with the same thing so they're easy to find. So if you go to YouTube and you search Circle Time with Jim Marshall -- you'll find I have a song about Dr. Martin Luther King, a song. I have Open Shut Them, where I'm singing with a group of children. They're little circle times that I've conducted with children. So circle time with Jim Marshall is another place. But what I'm encouraging you to do in these 2 assignments is to teach us a song. And it's fine if it's a song from your background, maybe a song that you sang in Mexico as a young child, or from Pakistan or India or anything like that, or just a song that that you like to teach. And again, it can be a song. Maybe I think everyone knows this, but that's all right. Maybe not everyone does know this. That's what I find, is that not everyone knows the Itsy Bitsy Spider. I mentioned the man Joe Weed, who plays mandolin on some of my CDs. He also plays violin. He'd been playing violin since he was 3 years old. And so he was recording some of these songs on my children's album. And he goes, I've never heard this song before. He grew up in the United States, and this is a children's song, but he had never, ever heard them because he was busy playing classical music on the violin. Okay, it's 11:54. I'll listen to any last minute questions before we sign out.
Yeah. I have a question. So we have this hand washing song and we are doing it with the kids. Is it okay if I do that?
Yes, please. That sounds great. Especially
Thank you.
the need to keep our hand washing up.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Another question?
For when is the homework for the teach us a song and teach us a movement? Is it for later or for soon?
I
next
don't,
week or something?
I didn't place a soon due date. I put it at December 17th, whenever the last day of class is.
Okay.
I'll extend it if we run out of time.
Is
So
this like a video or something, or do I have to explain? Or
it could be a video. It could just be an explanation.
okay.
This is a game we played when I was a child. Everyone got a rock and threw it towards the wall, and whoever's rock was closest would win a penny. Anything like that. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
And pictures. You'll notice in the syllabus, I want to avoid YouTube as an example so much, because hopefully you don't share YouTube stories. You get a real book and you read it, rather than showing a video to children. We want to learn how to feel comfortable sharing a song, knowing the words ourselves, that sort of thing. So that's what I hope for, and even original, make it up. What was some of even a song that a child made up. Your child, maybe. I was teaching a workshop with children. I used to do movement and music workshops with young children. And this girl, she was 8 or 9 years old, and we were doing workshop time. And she said, Jim, I want to make up a song. I said, okay, and I played a few chords on the guitar. And she goes, it's about homework. And I said, okay, let's hear your song. And she went, okay, here's my words. We hate homework, homework, homework. We hate homework. It's a drag. Take it up all the time. My TV time. And so she was singing. She made up a song about how much she hated homework. Well, that's beautiful. It was one of the nicest songs I've ever heard. I wouldn't tell her teacher that, but anything. Yeah, especially maybe a song. My daughter, when she was in preschool, her friends used to play what they call the owie game, and they would skip along holding each other's hands. They'd stop, drop each other's hands, take a little pretend bite on their wrist and say, owie. And then they start saying, owie game. We all like the owie game. They'd skip along, they'd stop, they'd bite the wrists again, not harming themselves, and sing the owie game. That's a real original song.
True.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank all of you. It's very nice to
Thank
see you.
you.
I'll make the recording available in a day or two. And if any of your classmates missed it, the recording will be there. Thank you for joining us. And I,
Thank you so
you.
much. Have a
Thank you,
nice
that was a
day.
wonderful
Bye.
talk.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend, actually.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
You
Happy
too. Bye,
weekend.
everybody.
It was great. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so much. I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. Thank you. I'm ending the meeting.
Okay.